This silver dollar was minted in San Francisco 100 years ago, but it never got into circulation. 847 million of these dollars were minted, but 250 million were given to Britain in World War I, and another 50 million melted down for silver in World War II. Millions have been lost by normal attrition and other millions into circulation, so there aren't too many left. So you recognize that as the old cartwheel, the silver dollar. Now this little Hummer is the dollar that the Federal Reserve issues as payment for all debts, public and private, but not redeemable. Now in 1936, with 1,400 of either of these, I could have gone to my car dealer and driven out with the best full-sized new car he had. Today I can go into my car dealer with 1,400 of the silver dollars, and I can come out with 3 Fleetwood Bromes, enough of this ersatz Spitzel fuel to last each one a year, and have enough left over for a cruise in the South Seas for a month, easily. But with 1,400 of these, and if I didn't have my gold credit card with me, and probably my mother's signature, I'd be lucky if I could make the down payment on one. And that's the way it is.
Jesse Cornish has just dramatized the impact of inflation on the United States currency. Inflation, or taxation without representation, has been the means by which our government has been able to spend more than it takes in, at least up to now. Now, someone has to pay the piper, and that someone is you and me. And we will pay dearly unless we learn how to make the power switch. Savings. And we learned that there are 2 approaches that give good results for saving energy, and that they can be used separately or in combinations. These approaches utilize the sun and the earth. When we think of using the sun to save energy, we are, of course, talking about solar houses, which fall into one of 2 categories: active and passive solar heating systems. We visited an all-solar subdivision near Atlanta, Georgia, which utilized active solar heating systems in all of the homes. An active solar system is one in which the sun's energy is collected by a mechanical system, the primary component being a set of solar collectors usually mounted on the roof. The heat is collected during the day and stored for later use in a storage system of some sort and distributed to the house by a system similar to the one that you might have in your own home. One of the advantages of this type of solar system is that you can regulate the heating supply much as you do in a conventional house. But the main point is that you can save a lot of money on your energy bills, as we found out from this couple in their solar home.
We have saved energy through the warmer months of the summer, particularly with our hot water. The sun is providing practically 100% of our hot water during these seasons. And we have saved some through our air conditioning too, in that the air conditioning unit uses, even though it's a conventional cooling unit, it does use the solar air circulation system and solar storage bin to help in cooling the house. So we have saved some money. Our total utility bills for 3.5 months have been about $110. And that's about $35, $40 a month or so.
So your 3.5 month bill has been really what most homeowners pay in a single month in the Atlanta area.
Well, the only thing that I have to compare it to is the time we were living in the apartments. Sometimes some months during the summer, our air conditioning bill would get up to about $80 there. And it was a much smaller apartment, square footage-wise, than this house is, so we haven't approached that yet. So I think we are saving in the summer months with our air conditioning also.
Solar heating is simply deriving heat in some form or fashion from the sun. And as it applies to residential application, there are basically 2 types of solar heating systems. There's active and passive. Active is where the heat is collected, stored, and distributed by some type of mechanical equipment. In a passive system, on the other hand, it's the house itself that collects and stores the heat. Now, obviously, in a passive solar home, you have to have access to the sun. So a south-facing location is a must, free from all obstructions now and in the future. The beauty of this approach is that it is almost maintenance-free. and allows almost any house that is designed properly to become a solar house. And in many cases, the house would not look much different from any other house in your own neighborhood. There are other amenities associated with lifestyle in a solar house other than saving money, as this homeowner reveals about his passive solar home.
The dominant feature of a solar house, and something that we've grown to like about it, is that it gets you involved with what's happening outside. And this is something that we hadn't experienced before. And when you live in a solar house, you become more aware of how the sunlight, or what kind of a day it is outside, and the temperature it is outside, and what season of the year it is, and you just become more involved in the outside of the house, because the way the house interacts with what's going on outside is something that a normal house just doesn't do.
And so we learned how to harness the sun. And we also learned how to use another free commodity to reduce our energy bills. That commodity? Well, the earth. We learned of two basic variations of earth-related architecture: earth-integrated and underground buildings. In earth-integrated architecture, the earth is usually piled up against the walls of the house to minimize the rate of heat loss. The roof is usually conventional in design, which is cheaper than that of an underground house, which has to be designed to carry thousands of pounds of soil. Most houses of this type have soil piled high against all of the walls on all sides except the south side, which is usually glazed as part of a passive solar system. A popular misconception is that these houses would give you claustrophobia, but as you can see, they can be just as attractive as a conventional home on the inside. The ultimate energy savings, of course, is in a totally underground home coupled with passive solar techniques. This means a heavy-duty roof system to carry the load of the soil on top of the house. In an underground home, the design is usually a bit different in appearance on the outside, but inside it can look just like any home. In one of the homes that we visited, the backup heating system was a wood-burning stove, which maintained the home throughout the winter months at a very comfortable level. A lot of life quality has to do with what we eat. What we eat and how much it costs to eat were subjects of great interest to us, and we tried to explore alternate methods of obtaining and choosing our daily diet.
The primary distinction that sets 7 apart from other food stores in Atlanta is our ideal of empowerment. We're here to awaken people, really, to educate people, so that they, in fact, can control more and more of their lives. The dimension that is primary to us, though, is taking care of ourselves. It's our social dimension. The atmosphere in 7 is unique, it's unusual, and it's different. That as well is what sets us apart from other food stores in Atlanta and everywhere. The food we provide here at 7 is that sold in as natural and whole a state as possible. We sell bulk quantities, as much or as little as you want, of grains, flours, nuts, beans, seeds, dried fruit, pasta. We're also here to provide our community with education, and the main avenue that we choose for that is through books and periodicals, magazines, literature about both food, cooperation, and